And then tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern, Starship's going off. You're not going to want to miss that. Tomorrow, hopefully, we get a test flight for the most powerful rocket ever made. Ever. But for now, we got a Falcon 9 down at the Cape. This is what Starlink mission is it? Go at throttle up. So I'm going to switch off cities. We're going to switch to coverage. Then I'm going to log off. It'll be back in the morning for more launch coverage. And then if you're looking for cities, I will be back on the 27th. Don't forget about me. Trust me on this one. I will make it worth your while. You have my word. Gold Falcon, hey, thanks for the 41 months. All right, so this is the Starlink 628 mission. It's a Falcon 9 going out of Slick 40 down at the Cape.
Stage 1 lock load is complete.
Poopman, you machine parts on the propulsion system for the Starship? Dude, Raptor is... Yeah, those turbo pump bearings. Very nice. Very nice, dude. That's cool. Raptor's a freaking beast, man. What an insane... It's full flow staged? Alright, whatever. Sure. You know, SpaceX just crapped that out. Whatever. That's awesome, though, dude. There you go, passing. What time are you aiming to start coverage in the morning? I'll be back at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's awesome knowing you're involved. Hell yeah, dude. That's so freaking cool. That's cool, Poop, man.
Stage 2 lock load is
complete. Okay, 120 seconds. Falcon 9 will enter startup at T-minus 1 minute. Ground gas closeout has been initiated. Spoon, it'd be 8:29 for us.
Ground gas closeouts.
Okay, they're evacuating the fueling lines going to the vehicle. Fuel and oxidizer lines are being evacuated right now, so the launch pad doesn't catch on fire. It's pretty simple explanation. Necro, it's releasing gaseous oxygen. That's what that fat vape cloud is. They're getting the oxidizer and the liquid fuel. I mean, they got to take the oxygen with them because it's a rocket. There's no air up there, so they take the oxygen with them, and it's easier to manage it if you carry it. If you
9 is in startup.
There's the startup. It's easier to carry it if it's a liquid, but liquid oxygen makes stuff explode very nicely. So you don't want your launch pad exploding very nicely when the rocket goes off.
Launch director, go for launch.
LD is go for launch. So they evac all the propellants when the rocket is done being fueled. This is the 11th flight for 1069. Thank you, D-Man. 1069 1069 is the serial number on the first stage. It has been reused. It has been reused 10 times prior. We're inside of 30 seconds. Chatter, you go.
15 seconds.
Don't you dare, McNubby.
T-minus 10, 9,
Sound
8,
suppression system is
7,
activated.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Engine ignition.
1, ignition. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
We got a good liftoff. Starlink 628 out of Slick 40 at 6 minutes past the hour.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Booster officer reports nominal stage propulsion. 20 seconds into the flight, vehicle's now traveling at 300 kilometers an hour, 1 kilometer up. Low-lying clouds here. Falcon 9 pierces through them as it makes its way on an uphill journey into space. T plus 40 seconds, we should be hearing the call for power and telemetry here soon.
Power and telemetry nominal.
I told you. Past 1,000 kilometers an hour, 7 kilometers in altitude. Coming up on...
9 is supersonic.
Okay. Breaking the sound barrier in less than a minute. Falcon 9's moving into maximum dynamic pressure here. That's peak aerodynamic load being put on the vehicle from basically the air getting in the way. You can't move the air out of the way fast enough.
Max Q.
Right, Rob? It's true. Okay. T plus 90 seconds. Vehicle is traveling at 2,500 kilometers an hour, 20 kilometers in altitude and ascending.
Started.
Flight control reports second stage thermal conditioning on the engine. The Merlin vacuum is now having cryogenic propellants being flown through it to basically prime the engine and get it to the right operating temperature. Mouse cursor. T plus 120 seconds. Should be coming up on main engine cutoff here in the next 25. Stand by for the call for main engine cutoff. That's basically when the 9 first stage engines shut down and staging occurs where the second stage separates from the first stage.
Main engine cutoff.
2-minute 30. There's the call for main engine cutoff.
Stage separation.
We got a good separation. Pump spooling on the second stage. Good ignition on the Merlin vacuum. Stiffener ring separation. Everything's looking good. T plus 2 minutes 50 into the flight. Second stage now traveling at 8,100 kilometers an hour, 85 kilometers in altitude. First stage now coasting on a unpowered trajectory right now. 7,500 kilometers an hour and decelerating to apogee.
Fairing separation.
Fairing separation, the aerodynamic shell is separated at T plus 3 minutes and 13 seconds, exposing the Starlink satellites on board to the vacuum. First stage is coasting on its on a ballistic arc right now. Now, if you guys notice, the speed will keep decelerating on the first stage over there on the left. When that speed starts going up, that's when the vehicle starts going down. So as altitude is increasing, speed is decreasing. You're swapping kinetic for potential energy. And then when it hits the apogee, or the highest point in its arc,
both stages are following nominal trajectories.
Good call on flight dynamics. Watch, the altitude will stop and the speed will stop going down. It'll start going up. Right now we're a little over 4 minutes into the flight. Second stage is 130 kilometers in altitude, traveling at 9,700 kilometers an hour. First stage, 116 kilometers in altitude, about to hit its arc here. We have apogee on the first stage, 116 kilometers at 7126 kilometers an hour. First stage will now start accelerating back down towards the ground because of that whole gravity thing. I'm not sure, Paul. I think they use the small nozzle here. They're not using the small nozzle because they need the performance, because those Starlink V2 satellites are quite heavy. Second stage is past 10,000 or 11,000 kilometers an hour, 147 kilometers in altitude. Magic number we're looking for over here on the right is 27,000, so we're not even halfway. Not even halfway to space right now. Only on Falcon 1 flights, Nick. How many Starlinks on board? I think we got 29. Or no, 22. 22. Excuse me. It's 23. They upped it to 23. Total payload mass is 22,800 kilograms. No, that's maximum. That's Falcon 9 maximum. This is a 22 ton, so 22,000 kilogram payload. So the next step here is my favorite part.
Both stages continue to follow nominal trajectories.
The Falcon 9 first stage has attitude control thrusters. You saw them pulsing over there. What they're doing is they're pointing it so the business end of the rocket is going into the atmosphere first. What they're going to do is start firing the engines on the first stage to slow it down, but also protect it from re-entry heating. First stage is going fast enough, 7,700 kilometers an hour. It's going fast enough to re-enter, to cause entry heating. What they do is they shoot rocket engine exhaust at the re-entry heating and actually pushes the heat away.
Stage 1, FTS says safe.
Supersonic retropropulsion is what it's called. It was an idea that was pioneered by NASA.
Startup.
for Martian entry, descent, and landing. But since the upper atmosphere where this thing is actually doing it, right, it's very similar to Mars's atmosphere at sea level on Mars, right? Sea level in quotations. It's actually similar. It's a similar flight regime.
Stage 2, FTS has safed.
Okay, we're 6 minutes and 37 seconds.
Entry burn shutdown.
Entry burn shutdown. 6 minutes 40 seconds into flight. Second stage is 161 kilometers in altitude, traveling at 16,500 kilometers an hour. Some plasma accumulation is happening on the grid fins on the first stage. First stage is 28 kilometers off the deck, 5,200 kilometers an hour, and decelerating. Right now it's decelerating because it's entering a thicker part of the atmosphere. And that's what's causing that plasma on the grid fins. Yes, it's a drone ship, Miguel. Yep. Okay, plasma will cause a momentary disruption of signal there on the first stage. 7 minutes, 22 seconds into the flight. 158 kilometers in altitude on the second stage. 19,300 kilometers an hour. Almost to orbit. First stage has required
Stage
telemetry.
1, transonic.
It is transonic and should be heading towards the drone ship here, starting the landing burn in the next 10 seconds. We do have a reacquisition of signal on the first stage, but we can't see much. 5 kilometers off the deck for the first stage, 1,000 kilometers an hour, and still decelerating. You can see the lights from the drone ship behind the grid fins on the left side. That's where it's going. It's going where those lights are.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance, indicating that it's now using onboard
Stage 1,
acceleration
landing burn.
to figure out its position in space. Landing burn has started, 8 minutes, 10 seconds on the flight for the first stage. Grid fins steering back towards the drone ship. It's going through some low-lying clouds here. Drone ship's coming into
Stage
view.
1, landing leg deployed.
Landing legs have deployed. 8 minutes, 27 seconds. First stage touchdown
Stage 1, landing
confirmed.
confirmed.
Ooh, little rough. The seas are a little rough out there tonight. But we got a good landing. Second stage, 152 kilometers in altitude, traveling at 27,000 kilometers an hour. Second stage engine cutoff confirmed. Stand by for the call for nominal orbit insertion.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And that's a wrap. They make it look easy, don't they? They really make it look easy. It's crazy, right? Pretty cool, huh? Sure, Apollo. So, that was Starlink 628. Don't worry, just in case you don't have your launch fix, in about 7 hours and 45 minutes from right now, Starship will attempt its second integrated flight test, the IFT-2 mission, going out of Boca Chica, Texas. Once again, I could sit here, I could tell you about Starship. Let me just put it to you like this. It's the most powerful rocket ever flown, and it's only flown once prior. And the time it flew prior, it didn't get very far. It freaking exploded. So, as SpaceX would say, excitement guaranteed, baby. Excitement guaranteed. So, I'm gonna go get a little bit of sleep, and I will see you guys back here 7:30. So I'm gonna be on here about an hour before this happens. Please, I would invite you to come and join me. If you do not want to get up for that, no problem. I'll see you next week. Once again, fellas, I'm gonna wind down the stream now. I have next week off. I will be back on the 27th, but I'm covering Starship tomorrow. I'm gonna be gone for a week. Ironically, I'm going to the Cape, so maybe we'll have some stuff planned down there. I don't know. Maybe we'll stream a Starlink launch. Who knows? So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. I didn't get the entire highway done in cities today, but we did get far. We will be resuming that highway project on the 27th, and we will push to 400,000. So thank you very much for watching. Everybody that bit, tipped, and subbed today, I do really, really very much appreciated. I can't believe the support that we're getting here for cities. It makes me so happy, and I'm like reinvigorated. I'm bumming that I have a week off. Like, let me put it to you like that, you know. But it's good to take some time once in a while. When we get back, we'll hit it guns blazing, right back into cities. So please, I would invite you to be there if you could. If not, if you're sick of me, I can understand that too. That's fine. Blackness, thank you very much for the 50 months. I do appreciate it. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. If you don't want to see me tomorrow morning, I'll see you on the 27th. If you don't want to see me then, well, all right, bye. I'm leaving then. See you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. Get some sleep. I'm going to try to. And thank you.